Hi everyone, it's Tara. I'm on my way to go surfing this morning and I wanted to address a few questions that you guys posted in the Freedom Collective. So I don't have a selfie stick, so forgive if it's jostling around, and also it's rainy season, so these roads are pretty bumpy. So let's talk about mastering conscious reality creation. And conscious reality creation, it's how do you go from where you are now to bringing into physical reality your vision. So whether that's building your practice, getting it to a certain level of revenue, whether it's calling in a couple clients, whether it's calling in your life partner, how do you go from where you are now to bringing it in now with that kind of certainty? So I want to address a couple questions. So one of them is something that Isabel had asked about. You know, this question of like, am I playing small? So the truth is that you know the answer to this question already. If you're not playing small, you'll feel good. You feel perfect. There's no judgment. There's no hierarchy. That's what the ego does. So you can be plowing the fields or working as a janitor and feel that contentment. I just shared a post about my grandfather who was he was basically a chef. He was a cook in the Navy, and he rose to the highest ranks there, and then he retired, and he was a happy man. He was content. He didn't think about, like, you know, what's the next step? What's the next thing that I need to do? I mean, one of his highest accomplishments was, like, I forget how old he was. Maybe in his 60s, he went back and he got his high school diploma, and he had this big high school graduation ring. It was like huge because he was so proud of that. He was content. And so if you're feeling like you know that you're here for a greater purpose and to have a bigger impact, then that question, am I playing small, it's going to bother you. And another thing is, when we're talking about conscious reality creation, we can clear blocks until we're blue in the face. And what it requires is stepping into that vibration. And this is the deep work. And I know for some of you, because there's some of you I've known for some time, and there's something that you're resisting, that you're not stepping into that vibration. And so if you find yourself bringing back another old story, if you find yourself using, like, you know, well, this is really just the way I am. I'm not good at technology, or I just don't like to talk about money, or whatever. That's the ego. Because in your divine self, we create worlds, we create universes. So what's a little technology? That's just what the ego says. So I invite you to go within and ask yourself, this is the deep work. This is what we focus on in Affluent Life Academy, in accelerating and holding that container and that vision so that you step into it. And often what happens is when we're on our own, we detour and we go in a different direction, or we're like, okay, I'm going to invent another program, or we get distracted with our family, or, you know, you guys know what I'm talking about. All these things that come up that get us off track. And so one of the things what we focus on in Affluent Life Academy is I teach you, we're clearing the blocks and then teaching you how to shift your mind, how to shift the conscious thought patterns so that you hold this new vibration. And that's why it's so important to surround yourself in a community of other game changers that have that high vibration and that are taking massive action. And so that's that invitation for you, asking yourself, are you, when you consider your vision, whether it's just bringing another $5,000 a month revenue, calling in that extra client, are you taking that action to step into that vibration? So, you know, what we're talking about, this conscious reality creation, it's accessible to all of us, and yet, you know, it's the 1%. And are you willing? So playing big, are you so committed to your purpose, to the work that you're here to do in this world, that you're going to get over yourself and get over feeling challenged about technology, or over the fact that you don't want to really make phone calls and that feels hard, or gather another workshop, that you feel so committed to your vision to share with the world that you just do it. You do it anyway, even if it feels uncomfortable. And so we know that success, it's getting out of the comfort zone. And that's why it's so important to be around others that are also kind of taking that action. It's one of the reasons I had taken a hiatus. I worked with a mentor last year, and we really worked on energy and connecting to higher self. So it was more a spiritual coach. Let's see, just a second, I gotta navigate this tractor. And this year I hired a business mentor, paying close to $100,000, investing over close to $100,000, because I knew that to play at the level that I'm meant to play, not from a place of ego, because it really doesn't matter, but to do what I promised that I would do here on this earth, that it's a different vibration. It's a different way of thinking about the world. And being surrounded with other 7-figure, 8-figure business owners, I show up differently. And so asking yourself, like, look at who are you hanging out with right now? Who are the top 5 people that you surround yourself with? Are they taking massive action? Is that the pace that you're surrounded, that vibration that you're surrounding yourself with? So that's that question that Isabel asked. And then there's another question posted in the Freedom Collective about, what do you do when you're processing these feelings? And, how to go through it. And recently I went through a series of initiation, and it was all leading up to taking this leap to invest with this 8-figure business mentor. And it was bringing up just like these earlier versions of myself. I even confronted that aspect of Tara, that depressed Tara. And I'll tell you, she's not someone that I have really liked because when I was in my teens and 20s, she was so stuck on the story, victim, wanted to sleep a lot, cried a lot. And it's just like, I don't have much time for that anymore. And yet I confronted her. Like, I actually I integrated her, confronted and then integrated, because, so I'll share with you a couple tips. First of all, it's just feeling the emotions, but seeing it as the observer, not getting attached to the story. So just noticing, it's like when I got intimate with this Tara, it was necessary, because she was a part of my past that even though I changed, she still exists. There's still another reality, that aspect. And so it's our power comes from bringing those different aspects of ourselves into the present moment. I know this is kind of high level stuff, but what it requires is experiencing the feelings, not being attached to the story, just observing it and feeling the hope and the excitement, and knowing from a macro perspective that I'm a divine being, I'm a sovereign being, and what's here for me? What is it I'm asked to integrate? What is the gift in this? And then just loving that aspect. If you need to sleep for a few hours, or if you need to cry, just cry it out, and just loving that aspect instead of we cast these judgments on ourselves and on others, and when we're doing that, we're in ego. So for me, I'll share with you my own journey. It brought up the parts where I still had judgment about her. And so when I could just see her from a place of love and grateful that she showed up to show me where I had the judgment, so that I could heal that part of myself. So that's what's coming up for you. And then the other piece is being excited about it. because when you can connect to your future self and feel excitement knowing that this is just an initiation, this is something you're walking through, and it's what I call the law of the slingshot. And it's kind of like you're being brought back to earlier versions of yourself so that you can integrate, and then you'll be catapulted forward, which is very much what I have experienced. And it happens a lot faster now. So get into that energy of excitement and then just ride that wave. So I hope that serves you all. I want to just leave you with this frequency, this transmission that you are a powerful creator, that this is a magical world. And when we open our eyes and when we choose to step into, I am a sovereign being. I am sovereign. I'm a powerful creator. And this is my dream. When we choose to step into that vibration, you'll see your life things will shift. You just ride that wave. Send you lots of love. And remember, I'll see, you guys can see I'm at the beach now. Check out those waves. Remember, you absolutely can live your dream now.